Today we're going to be doing an overview on the Dr. Prepare 12 volt, 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate deep cycle battery and power station. Alright, welcome back to the channel. You might hear my beagles in the background. They're 12, 13 weeks old. For some reason they think they're still puppies. But we're going to talk about this battery, this 12 volt deep cycle battery. What's unique about a 12 volt deep cycle battery, you ask? Well, Dr. Prepare asked me if I would like to have one of these and do an overview, give my thoughts on it. I said, why, certainly, right? Guess what? One showed up in the mail. I used it. I tried it out. Blows me away. Lithium iron phosphate. That's the way to go. I could never afford it. You know, my experience with that is the EcoFlow power station I have and the Blue Eddy power station I have. I've never had a battery, right? And this is not just a battery, it's also a power station. This is a 1280 amp hour power station, watt hour power station. 1280 watt hours. My EcoFlow that costs $200 more than this is 760 watt hours. The Blue Eddy that costs $300 some is 330 watt hours. That, you know, this is 1280, mind you. This is $400. 12 volt, 100 amp hour, deep cycle lithium iron phosphate battery. Out at the cabin, at my off-grid cabin in the power shed, I have 6 12 volt, 115 amp hour deep cycle batteries. Those are flooded lead acid batteries. What's the difference? Well, batteries have a nominal voltage of 12.8. 12.8 volts are in these batteries. If you take the volts times the amps, that gives you watts. Volts times amps equals watts. Always has. In any chemistry. So 12.8 times the 100 amp hours, you got 1280 watt hours. Those batteries out there, 12.8 volts times 115 amp hours, gives you like 1470. Well, those have more power or more storage. This is true. This I can use all 1280 watts hours before I have to recharge it. Those batteries, those AGMs, the flooded lead acid, those kind of batteries that we use in our solar system, us poor people who can't afford giant lithium batteries, you can only use about 60% of that before you start damaging the batteries. If you let them go below 50% of charge, there's permanent damage done to those batteries. Those are guaranteed for a couple years. This is guaranteed for 10 years. This has 3,000 cycles at 100%. You can discharge it and recharge it 3,000 times before you notice any difference in it. Then you still get over 80% of it after 3,000 cycles. So obviously, as the prices come down on these things, they have become more affordable. You know, when I bought those batteries for the cabin, that's all I could afford. Those were $125 a piece. But that's all I could afford. These at the time were probably $800 a piece. So they've come down, they're half of what they used to be. But I said this was a power station, like my EcoFlow or my Blue Eddy. It is. Any battery can be a power station, right? It's all what you add to it. Those power stations have all the inverters built in with all your AC and everything, and your DC and your charging, and it's all one pretty little package that you pay $600 for 760 watt hours. That's what my EcoFlow is. $400 for 1,280 watt hours. Well, how's it a power station? Well, you get this with it. See this little indentation in the battery? It looks kind of weird. This is a power hub. All that is, power. I think they call it max power or something like that. Anderson connectors here. Put that on. Turn it on. Open it up. Well, looky there. You got a couple USB-A ports. You got USB-C. You got one of those DC barrel port, 12-volt barrel ports. Cigarette lighter adapter. And more of those Anderson type connectors. Remember that. Okay, that takes care of all the DC I need. What about AC? What if I want 110? You go to Walmart, you buy a 750 watt inverter for 50 bucks. Plug in your AC. You know, you can't like plug in your house to one of those power stations. They're not going to last long enough. This won't at 1,280 watts. This will keep your CPAP running. This will keep, you know, all your devices charged. It'll run a couple lights, and you don't have to worry about the power because there's enough in there. That's the whole idea behind these power stations. They call them solar generators. They don't generate anything. They're a battery that stores power and delivers it to you as you need it. That's what they do. You have to generate the electricity to go into the batteries, be that with solar or be that with a charger plugged into the wall. They don't generate on their own. They store and deliver. Tired of having that argument with people because they want to market them as generators, and people buy them without understanding this, and they say, well, this only lasts me for 4 hours. Well, you had your refrigerator plugged into it, your TV, all your kids' games and computers. Yeah, that's all it's going to last. So these are for emergencies. Or take it camping, right? Use it all weekend long at your campsite. Bring it home, charge it back up, throw it in the closet, and it's ready for the next camp out. You can use them to store electricity with your solar. These could be a battery bank. The other ones can't, but this can. That's the versatility of this. So you've got all your DC out. Hook an inverter up to it. If you don't need the inverter, pack it away. You're not paying money for it if you're not going to use it. You need to charge this. Those Anderson ports in there. Hang on, babies. Those Anderson ports in there. Plug your solar panel into it. Voila. This has a built-in MPPT charge controller. There you're charging it. Want to charge it faster? Plug in a battery charger. Hook it up to these posts. There you go, you're charging. Right? Spend a few extra bucks, get a charger that's designed for lithium iron phosphate. Because these things, you do a little bit more to them than the normal 12-volt batteries. But it's just a few bucks, and you're good to go. This is it. This is what I'm going to use to power my camper van. This is the power source that I'm going to be using. I don't have to worry about where I put it in the van. I don't have to worry about off-gassing. I don't have to have vents. None of that like the AGMs or the flooded lead acid batteries. All of those, all that has to stay outside. This can sit inside the cabin. I want 2 of these to replace my 6 batteries at the cabin. 2 of these, I can stick them in my little bathroom area. I don't have to worry about anything, and we're good to go. So send me 2 of these. Yeah, they're great. They really are. I'm all for them. I'm so happy I got to try this out because I never had one. 1,280 watt hours is a lot. It won't power your house, but it's a lot. You don't have to worry about crap. I don't know what else to tell you. All the specs that you need, it's 100 amps and it charges at 50 amps. And the one thing about that you have to think about now with this stuff, there is temperature issues. If it gets too cold, like, I don't know, below 32 or 28 or something like that, you don't want to charge one of these. It will damage it. Well, this is one of the few that I know of that has a cold temperature sensor and shutoff. It shuts off automatically to where you don't have to worry about it. It has an overheat sensor that shuts off automatically, so it doesn't discharge too much. So the safety features are built into it. That's the secret. Put two of them together in series, now you double what you have available, right? For $800, you get 2.5 kilowatt hours. For 800 bucks. My EcoFlow is 760 watt hours. It was $600. That's how the price is coming down on these things. Hang on, babies. So that's my advice. Go LiFePO4. Get lithium iron phosphate. Hope you enjoyed this little overview. Give you an idea how you can use it, what it's capable of. That's all I do. Right? There'll be a link in the description if you want all the specifications, and you want to carry it with you to the campsite. It weighs 25 pounds. One of my batteries out in the shed is 75 pounds. They're great. They really are. I'm very happy they sent me one. I'm very happy I tried it. Now I'm stuck on them. I got to come up with some money to buy some to replace. My batteries in the shed are good for a couple, 3 years. I baby them. They'll last 3 or 4 years. This is good for 10 years. 3,000 duty. You can discharge it 3,000 times and recharge it before there's any noticeable change in it. So you put it in, you don't worry about it for 10 years. That's the way I look at it. And if you take care of them, it's probably 20 years or so you can go with them. And totally 100% maintenance free. You don't even look, once you put them in there, don't look at them again. You don't need to. They're just there. Hope y'all like this. I appreciate you watching. I'm out.